Edengrad, slate, take one. That was terrible.
Was that a fly?
I hit like a girl. Hello and welcome to Media Glitch. I'm your host for this segment, Miranda, and I've got with me everybody's favorite and wonderful...
Joel VALLIE. Guys, thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it.
So Joel decided to toss me another MMO to review this time.
I promise this will be like, you've had 3 MMOs. Is it 3 in a row?
No, I think it's just the 2.
Is it just 2?
Just 2. It's just
okay,
MMOs
why do I feel
are
like it was
kind
3?
of, super massive.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. That's it for a while.
It's fine. So this is kind of like half an MMO so far anyway. So we are reviewing the game Edengrad, which, as the name suggests, is a very Eastern European game. So just to introduce the game here, you are in it's a post-apocalyptic sandbox survival, massively multiplayer online role-playing game, which is quite the mouthful. It comes to us from the company Huckleberry Games out of Poland.
All right.
And has actually been in development since 2012. They actually did a Kickstarter in 2016 for finishing funds of the game in order to release it out for Steam Early Access, which I believe happened in April. So the game retails for $12.99 right now, and again, it is an early access game, so a lot of it is subject to change. And you can see there's already a few issues with it just as far as the aspect ratio alone. And the settings when you start the game are kind of interesting because there are some very odd resolutions that you can pick from.
Right.
So, there's those things I just consider rough. Now, the game overall, is the air conditioner on again? The game overall is rough enough that I'm not going to go into too many details about how the mechanics of the combat tree or talents or menu screens work, because I think a lot of that is subject to change. So we're just going to kind of go on the first impression of it, because I do think the game is still very early access, even for an early access game. It's the most early accessed game that's early accessed.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about the character creation. The very first thing I noticed about the game is you cannot create a female character.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I'm like, because I'm a female guy. Everything I do is I make a female.
Play in panties?
I do.
Yeah, yep. I know, but you do.
So I like Conan. Yeah,
there's no panties. Anyway, so yeah, right off the bat, you only have one gender to play with, even though the option for the other one is there. So obviously it's something that's going to happen. But for a game that's been developed for 5 years, it was a bit off-putting that you can only play one type of character. The sliders kind of make me laugh, like the fat slider. Right. They've obviously never seen, like, I don't know, American? I don't know what it is. Like, they
not
don't,
very
Europeans,
PC.
you don't know how to do fat. I'm just saying. But so overall, the sliders and the character creation's a little weird. Your characters all look very weird, which can be fine given the setting. Again, it's all post-apocalyptic. So, all right, let's just jump a little more into it. Just to throw it out there, the game makes kind of a bad first impression.
Oh, yeah.
Again, the game having been out as long as it has, you've got weird animations, the way characters move around. There's this floating camera issue that drove me absolutely nuts. If you don't hit, I think, the tab button, your camera is constantly trying to rotate around you, and it actually can give you a degree of motion sickness. And it's not, you can toggle it in that you're holding the mouse button instead.
That's it. I didn't have that problem.
Oh no, it just made me sick. And then this, here's some of the character models. There's only like 3 female character models, so you meet this, she's just unique.
She looked older on mine.
Got floating head issues. Again, the way the boning is, that characters move their hands very strangely. And so it ends up being kind of off-putting at the beginning. Coyotes, we live in a state with coyotes. It's not what a coyote looks like. There's very clunky combat mechanics to the game. You have to hold one mouse button down, I think hold the other one down to actually start swinging. So right out the gate, you've just sort of got like a lot of rough
very
start
bad
to
first
it.
impression, right? Like you said.
Well, yeah, just you feel like there should be a lot more polish, even for an early access game, to be able to get in.
Did you have, like when I was playing, like so I'd go through I'd be walking, and here to my left is a hospital, here, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'd look to another, I'd go here, and it was the armory or whatever, and then I'd look back, and it was just a wall. Did you ever have that?
No, that didn't happen to me.
Or it was a wall first, and then I'd go, and then I'd look back, and then it's a hospital. I mean, it was just so. Or I'd go into the hospital, and then it would repeat, and then I would be back out, and I'd have to go back in the hospital. Some crazy stuff was happening. Man.
So everything in the game worked, as far as I
Right.
could tell. Like, nothing just glitched out like that for me. Also, to point out, the game settings as you saw them, that was on the fantastic settings, which is the highest resolution there is, and even then it's still, you know, for how spoiled everybody who plays video games now are, it's not that impressive.
Right.
But again, this is all coming to us from a very small company.
Right.
It's obviously a passion project for them, and so I do want to
It's
give them credit
respectable
for that.
how
It
far
is.
they've come.
It is. And
know?
so, you know, there are some good things about this game. One, the setting is actually really cool. If you are a fan of the Fallout series, or if you like the Mad Max world, it's just this really interesting post-apocalyptic world. If you have the patience to kind of struggle past the first couple hours of the game as you get the hang of it, exploring the world is actually pretty interesting. There's crashed spaceships and abandoned motels that kind of remind you of something out of Silent Hill. Just all these unique little things speckled throughout the desert. Abandoned posts, random school buses in the middle of the desert. Plenty of corpses to loot. You can take their wallet. Which is kind of weird. Weird robots. Don't know what's going on with that yet, but it's really cool. One of the strengths of the game as they advertise it is the non-linear storytelling. So all the things that you're seeing here are all quests that you can kind of pick up at any given time. So you don't have to do it in any specific order. Now you do still level up and you still get better at, presumably you get stronger and healthier and all that good stuff. So you still have like a linear leveling system. And I haven't explored enough about how you maybe expand into your talent or combat trees or what else you learn from there, because it was still pretty early for me on it.
Right.
But at least the setting itself is actually kind of fun to explore and very interesting. So I
Right.
can give it that much.
And when we get sent about, 9 or 10 games a week sometimes, so
Yeah.
we can't put the massive amount of hours that an MMO requires, you know.
Well, and I might stream
But
some
you
of
did
this.
you do pretty well. That's why I gave them to her.
I think I gave it I think that's about between 3 and 4 hours
Right.
to be able to kind of explore the desert. And I believe there are more maps, but I haven't figured out how to explore past the initial desert. Just real quick, it's kind of like the reason it's post-apocalyptic is because the founders of old destroyed the planet because, humanity's so evil inherently. And then they tried out this experimental gas to reinvigorate the planet, basically, and it had very mixed results. So some areas are very plentiful and rich, and some areas are toxic and filled with creepy mutant people.
Right on.
Yeah. So anyway, again, for $12.99 on Steam, it is still, again, really early access. I would say this game probably needs another year in development to really kind of iron out the kinks and make it a little more palatable, because the first impression is really hard to get past. If you like the setting, though, and there aren't that many games to play with the post-apocalyptic setting, it is cool,
Right.
then, give it a go. It's $12.99, and that's the only thing you pay. You don't have a subscription charge after that. I didn't really get to see any of the possible PvP or other player interactions because I literally never saw or interacted with another player the whole
Right.
time I was playing. So it's still really small yet. So yeah, I don't know. It's worth giving a shot if you like the theme, but you just have to be patient with it because it's not going to feel good right away.
Right on.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Any final thoughts on that, you think?
No, I mean, I was having fun going through and doing what I was doing. I mean, the graphics and stuff, a lot of that doesn't bug me unless it's like game breaking stuff, because a lot of that stuff's entertaining.
Apparently it was game breaking for you.
Well, no, because I would eventually be able to get to where I needed to go.
Yeah.
But and maybe with more time invested into it, there's more things that happen. So, but I mean, it's hard to. I know they're a small company, and they're doing an MMO, a massive world thing.
Massive world, and I think it's
and
the only project they've ever done.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard because you have stuff like Black Desert Online for $9.99, But like you said, the draw there is the theme, the
It is the setting.
post-apocalyptic theme.
I would say Edengrad's setting, to me personally, is more interesting than Black Desert Online.
Exactly.
So-
Right on. It's definitely a world. I'd rather be in that world
Yeah.
than Black Desert.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I guess it's just the generic
Mad
fantasy
Max
versus, yeah.
type of
There's a lot of cool stuff going on with it. So the game has incredible potential,
yes.
but it just really, really needs some more mechanical development. I do think it was actually a little too premature, even for early release on Steam. So anyway,
awesome.
That's just my opinion, and that can be your opinion too. So thank you for watching this review. Please be sure to leave a comment, like, subscribe, do all of the good things. Ring the bell so you can tell when Joel is streaming. Or Cody is streaming.
Or you. You never know.
Maybe me, yeah. I will be doing some streaming on my channel over at YouTube/wargamergirl. You can also follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/wargamergirl. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.